Good evening, everybody. You are watching and listening to Long Island's number one pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh, seen every Thursday, produced out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, New York. That's on Long Island, folks. You can catch Monte and the Pharaoh on the YouTube Monte and the Pharaoh page, Facebook Live on the Monte and the Pharaoh page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Twitch TV, Monte and the Pharaoh page, RTF Sports Network every Friday, 6 to 7 p.m., with their anchor show. The repeat on Monday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., RTF Sports Network. Also catch us on Channel 115 every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9 p.m. and for early risers Saturday from 6 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Also catch us on Channel 20 Friday mornings on Channel 20. I'll repeat that again. That's Friday morning at 1:30 a.m. But this is also to talk about the opportunity of catching Monte and the Pharaoh on Anchor Network, where you can record and you can get your own podcast and do what Monte the Pharaoh always dreamt to do and have this opportunity to bring out to you guys. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make your own podcast in one place. So once again, you are watching Long Island's number one pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh. Catch us every Thursday, 9 to 10 p.m. And catch us here on Anchor. Have a good one.
mouth of the sound Jimmy Hart. Hey, check out my new tag team, baby, Monte the Pharaoh.
Hey, Jimmy, don't forget to tell them about Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast.
Well, you know what, I would, but you already did it.
Monte the Pharaoh. With Monte and Pharaoh. The Monte and Pharaoh Show. Monte and Pharaoh, bro.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh. Monte and the Pharaoh.
The Monte and Pharaoh Show.
And you're watching the Monte and Pharaoh Show.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
With Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh. Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
And Monte and the Pharaoh. Oh, is it Monte and the Pharaoh?
Monte and Pharaoh.
The Monte and the Pharaoh Show.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
To the Monte and the Pharaoh Show. And it's Monte and the Pharaoh, baby.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
With Monte and the Pharaoh. Monte and the Pharaoh. Oh, what a run.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
Hey, cut the fucking music. When you want the best in professional wrestling, Long Island, there's only one place you're going to get it, right here.
Monte and the Pharaoh. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best. That, my friends, is just incredible. Monte and the Pharaoh.
You've got the future Hall of Famer, that rocker, Marty Jannetty, MJ in the house, and I'm sitting here with two more future Hall of Famers, Monte and the Pharaoh. We're doing that stuff and we gonna rock it.
Straight to the top. We're living this life, not just dreaming it, we're doing it for real. Straight to the top. Working hard every day just to leave out that tower.
All right, welcome to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast out of Indie Music TV here, out of Ronkonkoma, Long Island. At the board is Matt. Matt, how are you, buddy?
Doing all right, doing all right.
To my right is the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Pharaoh.
What up? Another night. Here we go. Oh boy.
We got angry Pharaoh.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Whatever, man.
Explain to what just happened to the fans. They won't see it for a week, but explain.
Yeah. Wait a minute. How are they watching it right now?
They're not.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, on
What's up,
Facebook.
guys?
On Facebook.
Oh, okay. Then there's some folks out there. Hello, out there. Well, apparently, one of our ways of getting out there decided to give us a hard time over absolutely nothing. So, whatever. What are you going to do?
So basically, we had upgraded some computer software in the station.
Yeah.
Technical
stuff, right?
Right, and we were just running a stream for a second. We took it down.
Wait, for 1 second.
For 1 second,
right.
We took it down, and we landed a strike on YouTube. So if anyone understands, if you get 3 strikes on YouTube, you're off YouTube. And they don't release you from a strike. Like, you carry your strikes for the entire life of your channel.
Oh, like kangaroo court, too, the way it felt.
So I put an appeal in, and I literally got a response back from YouTube in 10 seconds saying that
they reviewed it.
We are wrong.
Yeah,
and we broke the violation. So, this kind of veered us off the show because, again, we weren't practicing. But, we might as well just go script a little bit, and I'll read to everybody what YouTube, this is what your punishment is, because you ran a video for literally
1 second.
1 second.
A test pattern. A test pattern.
Yeah.
Like at 5 a.m. back in the day on Channel 11, a test pattern.
Yeah.
Right. How offensive.
So,
okay. All right. That's offensive.
Yeah, I'll read it right now. Why not?
Well, if you're going to punish us,
Hi, Monte The Pharaoh. The team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our spam, deceptive practices, and scam policy. We've removed the following content from YouTube. Now, again, I don't know how they can review something that went up for literally 1 second.
1 second.
Okay? We know that this might be disappointing, but it's important to us that YouTube is a safe place for us all.
Oh, yeah.
If the content breaks our rules, we'll remove it. So if you think we made a mistake, you can appeal. So, which I did. I appealed. I said we were practicing a video, and we put it down.
We held a test pattern, but if you want right now, you can look up videos of people blowing each other's brains out on YouTube. But we want to hold to
to our moral standards.
So, okay,
all right.
Your channel now, your channel now has one strike. You won't be able to do things like upload, post, or live stream for 1 week. A second strike will prevent you from content for 2 weeks. 3 strikes the same for a 90-day period. Result with the channel being removed. So that means if we make 2 more mistakes like this, the channel's gone. What? The channel's gone.
Yeah, that's great.
But guess what? This is important, Pharaoh.
Go ahead.
95% of the creators who get 1 strike never get another one. Well, I got a warning.
The last time we tried a chest pattern, I'll tell you that.
I mean, I don't even get it. And how could they review something in literally 10 seconds?
Didn't review it. It felt like a robot answered you, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what happened.
So anyway, so anybody who's tuning into YouTube.
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah. Well, there's no one tuning in. Well, they're on Facebook land.
Well, there we go.
Well, land I know more.
So if that wasn't enough, we have our live show Saturday, and that will be making YouTube now.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
I like that one.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. So we got hit with a big storm. How'd you handle that bad boy?
Was I out in that? Yeah, I was out in that for a little bit. I was over at the studio with the Wisteria Hall Bartman, and on the way home, I ran over a small tree and dragged it a couple of miles and pulled it out. Yeah, well, it felt like a small tree. So it was a big branch. It just blew out in the middle. Boy, there was branches flying everywhere with that storm. That storm turned out to be kind of badass. You know, my village is messed up right now. There's just trees everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of power outages. So that storm had some clout at the end of the day. How'd you hold up?
I held up all right. I mean, the tree came down in the backyard.
That's not your
backyard. Front yard.
That's not your tree.
It's not my tree.
That's not your tree.
Not my tree,
Yeah.
but definitely an issue.
Yeah, well, maybe the guy who owns that tree works for YouTube.
Wow.
Sorry.
At least we could laugh about it. I guess.
I'm trying to.
I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, how's the sound? I'm getting reports that the sound isn't very good.
Yep, we just fixed it.
All right, great.
Hello. Sound.
Look at this. We got fans out there telling us what.
We do. Hey, what's up, guys? Cool. Oh, that's good. Yeah, screw YouTube. Facebook all the way.
I don't know, man.
Hey.
So basically, I had to drive around. You couldn't find your way to work because all the trees and everything else that was going on, right?
Yep.
So,
half the roads are closed in my area. It's lame.
Anyway, so, you and I have been talking about the views on YouTube. I mean, it's funny that we were going to bring it up today, but...
Right.
So, how long have we been doing this together for?
A couple of years. We've only been on YouTube a little over a year, I think, right?
Right.
Or around a year, something like that. Yeah, something
So
like that.
I guess in YouTube world, we got like 5,000 subscribers. Not huge, but
Okay.
it's a step. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's kind of logical for the first year. I've seen other channels take a similar pattern before things get bigger. So,
and I mean, it's not our only venue, right? We've got cable.
Right. We have a lot of different things. The Facebook views, there's a lot of different things.
Right.
When you start adding it all up, it's fine.
So I was thinking how you and I started together, and
Right.
I was trying to think of all these, because I guess we were both a little down this week about the views, right?
Okay.
Because the views weren't where we wanted.
Yeah,
to
normally
be.
they're much higher, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
and
Could have
again-
been one of these weeks where everybody was doing something.
And we're working hard.
Happens
right?
once in a while anyway. Can't say it hasn't happened before.
But then,
And we have other weeks where it's like kaboom, so whatever.
So I was thinking, of all the interviews we had. I wanted you just to, weigh in on them.
Okay.
David Sammartino.
How would I know? I wasn't there. I was
Yeah,
drinking.
but dude, okay.
I was drinking and stuff, and I was like, David.
But still, it was part of our show.
Yeah, no, I actually liked that. And interestingly enough, I think you only got a half an hour with him. Was he cranky that day?
He was a little cranky.
Okay.
Like a lot of these guys are, but
like a lot of these? Not a lot of them. I don't think the percentage is that high. It would have been interesting to have met David Sammartino. I thought it was a pretty decent interview. I thought he gave. He seemed kind of pissed off, but I thought he was good on the interview.
Well, I guess my point with the Sammartino thing is there is no other interviews with Sammartino.
Right.
And I
liked
mean, we did a fantastic job with that.
I thought you did a fantastic job.
We did it together.
Well,
Barry Windham.
I loved Barry Windham. That was an excellent interview.
And a lot of people always reflect back on the Windham. They really enjoyed that interview.
That was a great interview. Barry Windham is awesome. That was a wrestler's wrestler. You marked out all over the place when that guy showed up.
Zabisco?
One of my favorites. That was a fantastic interview. Good guy, too. I love that he wore shades, too. Not for nothing. And quit picking on his no-frill cigarettes. What's wrong with you?
That is true.
So if anyone doesn't know what Pharaoh's talking about, I expected someone of the legendary status of Larry Zabisco to be smoking Marlboros.
He was smoking
But he was
Senecas.
smoking reservation cigarettes.
Yeah, well, he's smart. Those things are expensive.
How much are those Indian cigarettes?
Not too much.
Is that politically incorrect to say Indian cigarettes?
Indian reservation cigarettes. You might as well make it accurate instead of people going, broad paintbrush. I love it. They're Indian reservation cigarettes. I think they're called Senecas. They're cheap. They're not actually that bad for cheap cigarettes. I mean, they're not great. They're cheap cigarettes, but they're serviceable.
And you know what? I really shouldn't put someone down for being frugal.
Why? Yeah, Zabisco's smart.
He's smart, right?
Yeah,
Why
he's
spend
smart.
a lot of money on
He was
cigarettes?
a little off on the Lars Sullivan prediction, but other than that, he's going to be a big star.
You always remember that stuff.
Yeah, he's a big
Scott
star.
Hall.
Scott Hall. I'm always going to have, you know what, because you were there the other time. We've met Scott Hall a couple of times, and the first time, hey, come behind the signing table, hang out with me, talk with me. It was weird. You were like, what's going on here? Like Scott and Jim are Pharaoh ready to go out and have beers together. And that was really cool. And then when we had him in for an interview, the whole vibe was different. I was like, man, is this the same guy? It was like easy cranky pants. But I wonder though, I thought about it though. When we got Scott Hall signing autographs, we came as fans.
Right.
So we got Scott Hall, the guy who was probably being pleasant to the fans, so he was really cool. I think we got Scott Hall the gimmick the night that he came to, because now he's doing an interview. He's working.
Right.
So I kind of have
he was
diagnosed it
too,
that way.
At the time,
He hated the ride. I remember that. He
Yeah,
was
because
like,
we were in the
God.
studio in Huntington, and
Right.
he wasn't happy about the ride.
Right. It was a long ride. I remember
know.
he got out of the car. He's like, oh my God, my joints. What, the ones you smoked or your knees? What's the problem? I don't know.
One of my favorite moments is Wisteria Hall singing with Coco Beware Pile Driver. Right?
Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool. But you know what was more funny about the whole thing that I remember? A guy like Coco Beware trying to read a promo for our show. We had to fill in the blanks. The Monte
and the Pharaoh
show.
Yeah, that's right.
It was hilarious. It's just like I
By the way, my
meanwhile,
wife,
Gangrel, who never talks, spit out a promo in like 2 seconds. It was like amazing.
It
so
is
weird.
Amazing how some of these guys got
weird.
it and some don't.
Right.
My wife's always like, take that one down because it looks really
Which one?
unprofessional.
I thought you meant Dylan, where he's reading
that
the
one
shirt.
too. But here's the funny thing, right? Because they get these wrestlers or whoever, and you can have those cameos done with anybody.
Right.
It's like a lot of these podcasts have cameos done like, this is Coco Beware, and you're watching the Psychic Network, the number one podcast ever.
I knew you were going to say that.
But
go on.
And then they cut out the cameo, so you don't know that they paid for a cameo. So
right.
at least we have cameos.
Yeah. Okay.
Hillbilly Jim singing with J.J. Maguire, who wrote the WWE music. That was great.
That was very cool.
Again, you guys could all catch us on a YouTube channel.
Yeah, Hillbilly Jim was awesome.
And one of the best times.
What?
Right? Remember when Marty Jannetty and you and me got in a fight?
That was one of the best times.
Yeah.
That was awful. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
That was horrible. He punched you in the face. That was awful. And then I freaked out and I grabbed him. The next thing you know, I'm in a life or death struggle with a guy who knows how to fight. I was like, oh, screw me. Screw me. I better cheat quick. Oh my God.
Anyway, my whole point is think of all the things we've done, and who thought we'd be fighting with Marty Jannetty?
No, not me.
Anyway, speaking of Marty Jannetty, you ready?
No.
This is not new news, but it's
not
somewhat
ready.
new news.
Go on.
Ex-WWE star Marty Jannetty apparently murdered and confessed.
Who's the Sparks police?
Apparent murder confession sparks police investigation. Sorry.
Right, yeah, okay.
WWE superstar Marty Jannetty might have confessed to murdering someone when he was 13 years old in a bizarre social media post, and now cops are investigating. The former member of the tag team The Rockers, with Shawn Michaels, told a story on Facebook about trying to buy weed from a man who worked in a bowling alley in his hometown when things went awry.
Okay.
I was 13. Should I imitate this?
Are you really going to do that? Okay.
Wait a minute.
I
was 13. Working at Victory Lane's bowling alley.
This is your
buying
impression?
weed from a fuck that worked there.
This is a bad Marty.
And he put his hands on me. He dragged me around the back of the building.
Why are
you already know what he was going to try to do.
This is...
Jannetty continued.
Yeah, I'm afraid he did.
That was the very first time I made
Marty.
a man disappear. They never found him. They shoulda looked in the Chattanooga River.
See, now you're getting a little better.
Oh, that's better?
You're getting a little better. It's still bad, but go on.
And by the way, before you comment, Jannetty's 60 years old.
Yeah.
And so the alleged incident would have taken place in 1973.
Okay.
Now the Columbus Police Department in Georgia tell us straight up, we're going to look into this. Thoughts, Pharaoh?
He took this post down, didn't he?
I think he did.
Oh, boy. All right. Okay, here we go. Considering that this is coming from Marty.
What?
It's natural naturally a lot of people are going, what? What? That's Austin. That's somebody else.
Right.
Considering this is coming from Marty and historically with some of the bizarre things he's posted in the past and his track record, it's logical for a lot of folks to raise an eyebrow and go, what are you doing now, Marty? Okay, fine. And that's fair. I could see people doing that.
Okay.
However, this is probably where people are going to get a little crazy with me, but that's fine. I can't fully ignore it until it's, if they are going to investigate and get to the bottom of it. Here's how I feel about if this did happen. I'm not sure why he would even do this now, all these years later. I have no idea. Motivation, clueless on this one. But if this did happen, I'm with him. He was 13. Somebody tried to he's hinting at, besides either an assault or a rape, someone was trying to hurt a boy. Now, as strange as it is that he's looking for weed at the age of 13, hell, I'm not surprised. I know kids that have probably started younger. It's a fucked up world out there. But 13 years old, dealing with an adult who's trying to either maim or rape or hurt him, if he did what he had to do, and at 13 he must have been a pretty strong kid. If he did what he had to do, then I'm with him. And if this even turns out to be true somehow, I don't think he's going to get much of a slap. He was a kid defending himself. If this did happen to him, people maybe will not be so surprised the next time they say to themselves, wow, Marty's really messed up. Because this is something that could change your life forever. And if this did happen, no wonder Marty's so fucked up. So, that's a
really good point.
So if this is true, then I'm with Marty and I back him because as a 13-year-old, nobody should be violated in any form or fashion. And if he had to defend himself to the point of snuffing someone, then that's what he had to do. So that's my fucked up take on the whole thing. Of course, am I sure about any of this? Absolutely not. I'm no different than anybody else. Let's see what the police do with this. Let's see where this goes. I don't know. It's fucked up.
Well, you're going to have an answer for Marty Jannetty because he'll be in studio on September 18th with us.
What?
So, if anyone knows the past between Monte and the Pharaoh and Marty Jannetty, it has not been the best.
Right.
We kind of made up the last episode.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm good with Marty. I don't know.
But he'll be back September 18th.
Are you good with Marty? I don't need no more surprises.
I'm fine with Marty.
You
but
better be.
I certainly will be asking the question.
I'm sure you will. And I'm sure he'll answer it, too.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he'll answer.
You want to try it? A little practice?
What do you mean?
All right, you ready? Marty, what's the deal now? First you wanted to have sex with your daughter, and now you're saying that you were raped and you killed somebody.
I have no idea. You're talking about money. I took both those posts down.
There you go. And that will be the interview on September the 18th.
Keep rocking.
Monte the Pharaoh would like to thank the band that sings the theme song for the Monte and the Pharaoh show, Aqua Cherry. They sing songs like Straight to the Top, our theme song. Also catch other songs such as Yes, Yes, Forever, and Seasons. Aqua Cherry's music can be found on Spotify, iTunes, Reverb Nation, or where music is sold. Also, our very own Jimmy Farrow and Bart Griggs make up the band Wisteria Hall that sing our outro song. Wisteria Hall sings such great songs as In My Dreams, This Life, Not Far Behind, Here Comes the Rain, and you could also find their music on Spotify, iTunes, and Reverb Nation. Monte and the Pharaoh can be seen on YouTube. Not now. Facebook Live on the Monte and the Pharaoh page.
You better be good.
Radio, Spotify, Anchor, Twitch TV, Monte and the Pharaoh page.
I've got my eye on you.
RTF Network on Thursdays. Our time has changed.
What?
From 8 to 9.
Oh, really?
Yes. And
Okay.
catch us on Mondays from 10 to 11. That's the replay.
Okay.
Channel 115 every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9 p.m. And for early risers, Saturday on Channel 115 from 6 to 6:30. And also on Channel 20, which is literally Friday morning at 1:30 in the morning, which is just a few hours away on Channel 20.
I am
And
so
that's 1:30 in the
pissed. I
morning.
don't get our shows anymore because my wife switched the cable outlet service.
Why are wives in control of everything?
I have no idea, man. But you know what? I remember what Tony Atlas said. You do remember what he said about married life, right?
What did he say?
You have two choices. You can either choose to be right or to be happy. The man is a genius.
That is pretty
That's
smart.
all there is to it. So great job, and you let me know how the shows go.
But, you know...
I'll be editing them. You'll be watching them. Yeah, that sounds about right for the Pharaoh.
Terrible.
Big fucking loser.
Jimmy and I would like to take a moment to show respect for people who have lost their lives and people who are in front lines during this time.
Take it away.
Oh, I'm back.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
you're
lost
back.
Concentration.
What? Another YouTube letter?
Just like...
Dear Mike, man,
I guess
love
I should have said
YouTube.
we're back because we're going to a commercial break.
Hey, be right back.
Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, seen every Thursday, produced out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, New York.
Easy for you to say.
Holy Christ. Listen, we're a little off our game, everybody. Just so you
We
know, if
are?
you're tuning in late, we've been banned from YouTube for a week
Would you
because we
stop?
actually posted a video for 1 second and took it down because
Right.
we were resetting something.
It wasn't even a picture
And
of
we
someone's
were given
private
We
parts.
were given a strike, and again, under YouTube, if you get a strike, you get banned for a week. You get 2 strikes, you get banned for 2 weeks. You get 3 strikes, your channel is eliminated.
Oh, my God.
So, you know, I guess I can't be afraid to even do anything anymore on YouTube, right?
I don't understand it all, but that's
All
all
right.
right. Where are we? Something about you raving about wrestling's current product or something? Really?
Anyway.
Really?
I don't think pro wrestling's been
Oh, yeah.
this good in a long time, Pharaoh.
I'm not sure. Well, why don't you tell me why you feel so optimistic? What is it about this
So,
current?
SmackDown last Friday,
Yeah.
I thought was well written.
Yeah.
I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, well, yeah. It was
You know,
good.
you had The Fiend attacking Alexa Bliss.
That was wild.
It's funny coming out of Just Incredible saying, hey, you got to push the envelope a little. And we were saying, would you do this? Would you do that? That's pushing the envelope, right? A man attacking a woman.
That was cool.
Knocking her out.
No, the particulars don't really matter much to me. I just like the fact that it was cool. It was well done. And I want to see Alexa Bliss do this because Alexa Bliss has been running a very stale course for a little while with Nikki. I'm tired of it. We know Alexa Bliss is much more engaging than what she's been doing recently.
Right.
This is awesome. I can't wait for this.
What do you think is in Bliss's future?
Well, she's Sister Abigail. If she turns out to be Sister Abigail, we know in the past that Bray has always referred to Sister Abigail as kind of the boss. That her word means most to him. So this is very interesting. I guess first he's probably got to take her to the swamp and put her in the special soup. And then she's got to come out, and when she comes out, she'll probably be more evil than we ever imagined. And we always loved her evil side.
Well, which
so
way,
this is going to be
which
really
way do you
good.
think this angle is going to go? Is it going to be a Nikki Cross angle, or is it going towards Braun Strowman? Right, because we all know that Strowman and Bliss had a relationship, right? But where does Nikki Cross fall into this, right? Before she walked out on Alexa because she was mad because she lost to Bailey, right? So she was upset. So
who knows where this could go?
Is there a possibility Nikki is Sister Abigail?
That would be a bit of a bummer to me.
Me too.
I do think that Nikki will be used
to advance the storyline. Where her role falls in, I am not sure. I almost feel like she's going to get the beatdown of her life. But also, it's possible that she could wind up joining with them, too. She's kind of off-kilter herself as a character. She's out there. So I could see her possibly joining them. Who the heck knows? Aleister Black should wind up with Bray Wyatt as one of his disciples, quite honestly. So there's a bunch of things, I think.
Well, I will tell you this. I'm a little sick of Alexa Bliss face. Being a face.
Yeah, it's not. She's
face,
much better as a heel. I don't think she makes for the greatest face.
So Alexa Bliss comes back, black hair, black eye makeup.
I don't know. But
definitely running that road towards Strowman.
They're definitely going towards Strowman. I think he's going to take the belt from Strowman. He's going to win the title again. This Fiend thing has taken a weird turn, man. He gave up the belt inexplicably out of nowhere, right? And then he disappeared, and then we had Bray. And
you got to remember, you had COVID, right? So they had that big thing lined up for Reigns against Goldberg. That made sense for WrestleMania.
Yeah, he was kind of jammed in there. That's true.
It just, like, things just fell apart. Like, you couldn't prepare for that type of stuff.
Right.
I mean, how great would have Reigns against Goldberg been? It would have been a really good match.
That's an interesting thought. Do you still like The Fiend? Do you think he's got some staying power in his second coming here?
I did not think that gimmick would be sustainable, but it's
not bad.
It is a good gimmick.
It's not bad.
The whole bringing Alexa on board, if it goes that way, which I'm praying it goes that way, I'm enthused.
Right.
I'm excited. The storylines are good.
And for those independent marks who are barking at home about how bad The Fiend sucks, go back and watch your Marco Stunt tapes, because if you're going to tell me Marco Stunt is better than The Fiend, then you clearly have better cocaine than I have access to.
I just don't think people are giving the writing, like, they're already, like, I saw a post from those wrestling experts, the whole, like, Alexa Bliss being attacked, and I'm like, that is good writing.
I thought it was cool.
Fun.
By the way, it was kind of creepy when he closed in on her.
Yeah,
that is pretty.
And I
cool.
thought she acted very well. She acted scared. She
was
had
good.
a great face.
No, that was good. That was a cool moment.
How about my girl Mandy Rose getting attacked by Sonya Deville and getting her hair cut, being that into entertaining the fans to allow her hair to get cut.
Forget the hair getting cut. What about the straight right that started the whole thing? That was a real punch.
Oh yeah.
What the hell was that?
Oh yeah.
For the face of an absolute top-tier model, Mandy Rose is a tough babe. Ow! That was, and we all know Sonya's tough. I wouldn't want to fight Sonya.
No, me neither.
No, thank you. You know what I mean? But that right hand was like, oh my God, that had to hurt. What a vicious beating. I haven't seen a good beating like that in quite some time. And yeah, we're barbarians. That's what we want to see sometimes. Is there anything wrong, by the way, as a wrestling fan, wanting to see something like that?
It's a real beating.
That was amazing.
That was a great beating.
I really liked that a lot. And by the way, how about some points for Sonya with what she was screaming at her? Oh, man! That was really, really, really good. So yeah, there was some good highlights.
Again, now wrestling fans, very well-written storylines. If we had fans...
Yeah, I like both of those.
If we had fans during this time...
Yeah,
I think people might feel a little different. I think they'd be much more into it.
I think a 20,000-seat arena would have definitely given you a pretty big pop when The Fiend popped in on Alexa. I think you would have had a pretty good live reaction.
Yeah.
I think behind the scenes as the fans are watching vignettes, and sometimes it's hard to hear them live when you're at the arena and they're showing the vignette on the Titantron. But I think the fans, you would have had a lot of oohs and ahs when Sonya was delivering those blows, man. Those would have gone over very well on television. So with a live crowd. So yeah, that was
so far Pharaoh-like, right?
Yeah, what you're pointing out, absolutely. Absolutely.
Monday Night Raw Underground made its debut. Your friend CM Punk wrote.
My friend.
I absolutely love it.
He doesn't even know me.
I want to see Nia Jax in there. They should get more women in there. Let us see more bodies getting broken. The idea that Shane McMahon and all these people would be in a performance center for the whole 3 hours and they cut into what they're doing in various segments is pretty cool. 3 hours of no-holds-barred fights and strippers. That's all I want to see.
It's funny. On that last sentence, this whole time it seems like he's totally behind it. On that last sentence, I almost wonder if he's being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Was he being sarcastic?
Well, let me ask you about the dancers. What did you think of the dancers? Some people think they felt it was out of place. Personally, I thought it gave that dirty underground look.
Oh, God. It's what did I think of the dances? You should be asking me what I thought of the overall whole vibe of it, because that's where I have a better answer, a deeper answer. as I'm watching this, first of all, I think that it's very ironic that they used the word underground. The way it was filmed, the dark filming, and the way it felt is absolutely from Lucha Underground. I watched that show for whatever it was, 3 or 4 television seasons or whatever it was. Right. It had that grisly, darkened arena feel. You felt like you were watching something secret. It's like a Fight Club thing going on with this Raw Underground thing. Is this exactly what I usually look for? No. I did not do cartwheels for this. I think it's interesting. I give them credit for trying something different. Do I think it's going to work? It might. It might. But could you take full stock in some of those fights? Like when Ziggler's beating up the guy and stuff like that? I don't know, man.
I actually thought it was wonderful.
Really? You really liked it, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but you know it was weird. I had the weirdest thought. It's funny that you say that CM Punk spoke on this.
Okay.
This is a strange idea. Stay with me. Mm-hmm. How do you repair Punk's image, tough guy image, after he lost those 2 MMA fights? If he's going to return to a pro wrestling suspension of belief, pro wrestling atmosphere. How awesome would it be? They'll never do this for him, but, I can't see them doing this for Punk. But what if Punk shows up in Raw, the Raw Underground segments, and calls out, and the WWE brings them in and pays them well to do this, and calls out the 2 guys that he lost to in the MMA, and beats the fuck out of them in a pro wrestling Raw Underground situation.
Right.
He'd have his wrestling.
I'll tell you.
He'd have his wrestling magic back for those who are able to suspend their belief and go, okay, that's cool.
That is brilliant.
It's very creative. And you know what? When you guys do decide to do this down the road, you're welcome.
Well,
and remember to call 1-800-MONTY and the Pharaoh.
That's right.
And we'll give you some more awesome ideas. I'd love to talk.
I will say this. You and I spoke.
We'd love to talk.
You and I spoke about this. We talked about how exciting people would get if CM Punk came
right. This is how you'd get him back in,
I think I clearly said to you a few times that he damaged himself so poorly by losing those fights.
There's
your repair right there, dude.
Sure. Now, you reward these 2 guys handsomely, the ones who know that they took him in real life and stuff like that.
Right.
But, in respect to Punk, and I still say this to this day, he didn't walk in there with 2 jabronis who didn't fight at all. He actually fought experienced fighters.
Sure.
So I have nothing but respect for Punk, despite the 0-2. I felt that he gave it his all, and he didn't take a shortcut. I'd love to see them pull that off. I think that would be great. Why not? We've had Tyson Fury in the ring. We've had other guys in the ring from other backgrounds. Let's have
Pharaoh, you better get paid for this idea because it's totally brilliant. And with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
We shall return.
Welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, seen every Thursday, produced out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, New York. So at the end of the show, they bring in the Hurt Business.
Right.
We were just talking about Raw Underground.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of the Hurt Business?
I really want to like them, but they did something very confusing with the booking.
Go ahead.
Why is Tozawa taking the title off of Shelton Benjamin so fast? I like the fact that there was a belt holder. I know that the 24/7 title don't seem to mean squat.
Right.
But I'm not sure how in a professional wrestling ring they were made to look like clowns on Monday night. They lost and lost and lost, and then they go into the Raw Underground and beat the tar out of everybody. I'm very confused by this.
I think
that was mixed. Have them be successful in the ring too before you. I don't know, man. It just seemed mixed signals coming to the fan.
I think they had to put a belt on Shelton because you brought him back in to the mix.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. They probably shouldn't have took the belt off him that fast. But then again, maybe they shouldn't have gave it to him to begin with, right?
Yeah,
it's
you
not a
don't need
real
it.
serious belt
No.
anyway. It's like a clown belt in a lot of ways.
What are the odds of them pulling going in the Nation of Domination direction with this?
I think this is the new type of Nation of Domination.
Can we please get Apollo Crews with them? Please,
It's coming.
please,
It's coming.
please, because he's starting to get better, and I like his look more. The thicker the beard goes, and I'm like, come on, man, turn him.
I
I
got to give kudos to MVP. Never liked him.
MVP's
in
a
the
great
past.
talker.
Could not stand.
No,
him.
MVP's excellent
Then
on
when
the
he
mic.
went to TNA, I couldn't stand him.
He's a good wrestler,
right? TNA, right? He was at
Yeah.
TNA,
Yeah.
I got to tell you, you're right.
Dude,
he is good,
dude. He can talk, man. He is good.
and I think this Raw Underground will help Bobby Lashley.
Yes,
and I think eventually, I love the CM Punk idea. Once again,
it's almost too good.
Please send a check to Monty and the Pharaoh.
Yeah,
we could
please.
use it.
Yeah.
WWE.
Yeah. And put in a word for us with YouTube, WWE. Thanks.
We'll give you this idea. We'll give you this idea too. Definitely the avenue for Lashley to meet Lesnar in Raw Underground. The match that everybody wanted to see anyway. That you said they were destroying Lashley.
Could be heading towards that too. Wow, that would be interesting.
Well, they are rebuilding Lashley's career, right? They're getting that dew off him, that garbage
trying
that they've been throwing on him.
Trying
right?
to. Yeah, the whole Lana thing was ridiculous. That's a whole other story. Where is Lana right now? Doing anything? I heard Rusev is retired. What's way?
You think that's for real?
What?
That you bring that up? That Rusev is retired?
Who knows, man? I have no idea. Rusev marches to his own beat. He always did. I actually used to get a kick out of him. My wife, of course, in the past has watched that Total Divas stuff. And Rusev was sometimes on the show.
Right.
You know, not so willingly either. And I found him to be he definitely walks to his own beat. One of the funniest things I ever saw, he was trying to point out how Lana's body basically gets her where she gets in this business. And he was on her because of the way she dresses, right?
Right.
Because she's always showing a lot of flesh, right? So one day, to make the point clear on this Divas episode, I walk into the room and I see Rusev in a thong mowing the front lawn.
Okay.
To show to his basically just his sack, you know what I mean?
Sure.
To show his wife, hey, I can show skin too. I thought to myself, I'm like, he's pretty headstrong, man. So I don't think he really cared for what was going on behind the scenes. We know he had problems with Vince. We know Lana also caused problems for Rusev by going public often with Twitter or whatever she was doing.
Sure.
I don't know if Rusev is necessarily so thrilled with the business nowadays. So will we see him again? Maybe. Maybe down the road, not so sure.
Again,
you know?
I'm not.
He's certainly not running to another promotion. I don't see him doing that. But is he in the contract still? Maybe that's
were you
why.
a big fan of his to begin with?
I kind of like Rusev.
Anyway, Farrah, brings me to my favorite part of the show.
No.
The most annoying wrestling expert.
Why do we do this every
In this particular part of the show, I covered up the name.
Oh, I hate when you do this because I know, and I'm not going to see the name, but I know you've done one of your bad Crayola jobs. Go on.
How did you know that?
Because I know you. God, I hope this isn't somebody come on.
Anyway, I got to tell you, dude.
What?
Really, I'm getting really tired. A lot of these. I mean, these experts are really just getting under my skin.
Man.
So I'll read this one,
please.
and I want you to weigh in. And again, this is from someone unknown.
Wow, this is because I don't even have it here, so this is a big secret. Go on.
My dad always told me as a kid,
"What?
Hang out with losers, and you'll become a loser. Tweet like an immature goof, and expect to be flooded by immature goofs. Take a look at my Twitter interaction inner circle. Not one goof is found."
What?
So this is from, I'm not going to tell you the guy's name, but he is a podcaster that's been around for quite a while, since the 90s.
This could be anybody.
And he does a lot of bragging.
Okay. This could be anybody.
I got to tell you, this guy gets on my last nerve.
Really?
He sits there and talks about how he gets all the wrestling predictions right. He calls all the other podcasters goofs.
Who is this?
I
don't know.
He claimed to be in the business. But anyway, long story short, I just
In
want
the
you to weigh
business.
in on what he said. Do you think that if you hang around with losers and goofs, you are a goof yourself?
Well, that's a very general statement. I mean, it's such an easy thing to type. If you hang around losers and goofs, why, you know all the people I hung around with growing up? I mean, who's this somebody who's known you on a keyboard for, 3 months or something?
Exactly.
How the fuck does he know who you grew up with?
Exactly.
That's just a generalization.
Well,
see, this is one of the biggest reasons.
A general tweet from this guy.
Okay,
right?
So now he's generally insulting everybody?
Exactly.
What else is new? That's why you don't see the Pharaoh on the keyboard.
I don't blame you.
You do a great job, and I give you nothing but credit for tolerating what I call the septic tank.
Well, I got
that's just another piece of duty floating in the pool. I'm not interested. I'm just not interested.
If I met some of these people in real life,
oh please, we know.
I would just punch them.
Oh please, we know.
I gotta tell you, I'm tired of them all.
Please, we know, man.
I'm
1-800
sick of them.
1-800 Paulie Walnuts bite me. What the hell?
Anyway, I want to thank that pro wrestling expert for giving us.
I don't even know who we're
today.
thanking. Hey.
You know, before we go to commercial break,
anybody.
I wanted to ask you about that, though. How do you feel about podcasters who pay for cameos from wrestlers to promote their shows? Do you find anything wrong with that?
What are you talking about? What are you
saying? So there's
saying?
something called Cameo out there, in case you don't know.
I'm not aware of this.
All right, that's fine. So you can reach out to actors, any famous person, if they have their own Cameo video.
Okay.
And you pay them. Like, say your wife is a big fan
Do I think there's something wrong with it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll be very thorough with this answer.
Good.
I only think there's something wrong with it if you use it as if you grew up with them and they're your best fucking friend. And you decide to make it an ego thing. Like, I knew a guy once who used to carry around pictures of celebrities in his wallet and say that he was best friends with them all. But you know what he really was? He was the guy who was soundproofing their walls.
Wait, let's go back.
Oh, what are we talking
In his wallet, he had pictures?
I was like, is that Ringo Starr? I'm like, what the fuck? I suppose you come from Liverpool. I mean, what's this
Is that like in your wallet, you'd have like a picture of this hot model, dude, your girlfriend, that type of thing?
Dude, there is nothing worse to me than hero worship on other people. You know I don't do it.
Right.
I can't stand when people elevate another human being to the point of hero worship and then use that stranger. Because that's what they are when they pay them to do a cameo. They're a stranger.
Sure.
He's my best friend. I'm in the business.
But
I got a picture with
is there anything,
Randy Savage's elbow. I'm in the business.
Is there anything wrong with that, though?
What? To brag about it afterwards?
No, I don't think they're bragging, but they're doing a cameo to promote their show, and they're throwing it in the front of their show.
If you're using it for that way, I don't have an issue with that. We do that too. Yeah. There's no issue with that.
We don't use Cameo.
No, we don't use Cameo. We actually meet them in person.
Thank you.
No, there's none of that. Yeah, very clear. And I don't even know what Cameo is before you go, aha! I don't even know what it fucking is.
You were using Cameo.
Not at all. They come here in person and then they tell us how great our fucking show is afterwards because that's what's happened almost every time.
I want to go back to your comment about hero.
We love wrestling and we've had great relationships for the most part with these guys.
Let's talk about hero worship. So it's a good
I
point.
can't stand
But what's
it.
worse? Hero worship,
Yeah.
or that asshole I was just speaking about who worships himself.
That's what I was getting at, though, because don't you see, if you use someone else who got their fame probably the hard way and earned it and are established, and then you brag and make it about yourself, you are what I call the ultimate ass clown mirage. What a mirage you are.
Forget about
You're that in love with yourself?
Forget about using other people, but these guys, this guy
I don't even know who
loves
this
himself.
is.
This dude loves
I don't know who
himself.
this is, just for the record.
Okay, so again, I know you don't listen to a lot of podcasts.
Right.
They're very little ones.
I don't know
right?
why
so I
you
listen
do this
to a
to
bunch
yourself,
of them,
but go
all
on.
different ones.
Okay.
Not one in particular. So someone goes out there and goes, "See, I knew you were a fan of my show." No, I'm not. Okay, I just listen.
Right.
All right, because you know what? I'm all about learning. Right. We
Right.
don't think we're perfect, so
No
there's nothing
way.
wrong with learning.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I want to throw up in my mouth because I mean, the guy loves himself.
Right.
He talks about himself like he's a god.
Really now.
It's
really
almost.
Can I ask what?
sickening.
Can I ask what he's doing about COVID? Has he nailed the cure?
He has not nailed the cure.
Well, then who is this?
Good point.
Sounds like Joe Blow from Idaho. Who gives a fuck?
I mean,
you're gonna live longer when you learn how to.
I mean, and this clown isn't. This clown isn't.
Ignore this
This
crap.
clown isn't the only one, right? There's a bunch of these clowns going on.
Again, one of the biggest reasons I jumped out of the cesspool. I'm just not into it.
I got to tell you, the more and more that I spend time with you, the more and more I realize you're much smarter than I am.
What?
With that, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Einstein will be right back.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monte The Pharaoh, seen every Thursday, produced at Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, New York. Okay, I'm starting to get my groove back, all right?
You
The
are?
whole YouTube thing threw me off.
You're like on side 3 of Kiss Alive now?
Yeah.
That's cool.
The first 15 minutes got you.
All right.
Me and Pharaoh talk about this all the time. If things don't go perfectly for me, like I lose my focus.
Well, that's
and
what
it's hard to reveal.
You know what though? That's what I appreciate about you though. You've got a little bit of that macho man work ethic in you. Like if the slightest you missed the elbow, you gotta have it all.
Again, I can't get over the fact that we put
You
up a
didn't do
video
anything,
for a
bro.
second. It's
Okay.
like, what the
Listen,
fuck?
to the folks at YouTube, you need to reevaluate how you go about throwing your balls and strikes around. Because when someone's doing a test pattern for 1 second, it's not spam. It wasn't a picture of a penis. It wasn't something like, no life matters or any kind of nonsense or stupid moronic statement. Guys,
It must be the algorithm, right? Because if you put it up
guys,
that short, they must think you're flashing a picture.
They're
and they
flashing
can't catch
anything.
onto
We
it.
were just doing a test pattern to see whether or not everything would go smooth.
No, I get it.
It
It's
is
just like,
absolutely absurd to get back a robotic answer from a robot. You guys need to be a little bit better than that. Please reevaluate. Thank you. Go on.
Well, that ain't happening.
Nah, I know.
I already got 3 rejections already.
Right.
I could keep sending appeals.
Why don't you just write "rah"? They might answer.
Rah!
They might.
Jimmy and I would like to remind everyone about this Saturday. We still have limited amount of tickets available. It's a big event with James Ellsworth and Gilbert in studio with Northeast biggest pro wrestling agent, Mr. Eric Sims, and then a virtual signing.
Nice.
So basically we'll interview Mr. Eric Sims.
Right.
Then we'll interview Gilbert and Ellsworth.
Right.
And then we will then do the live auction.
Right?
And
but the most important thing has happened. You made sure to tell the Pharaoh to not get lit the night before.
That's right, I did.
Yeah, so we're
no
safe.
drinking the night before.
This is going to suck.
But
Go on. Yeah.
It won't be on YouTube.
Right. Oh yeah. Hey, can I drink
killing
that?
me, bro.
Yeah, this is absolutely horrible. This is whatever.
Thoughts on Gilbert?
Our enemies are going to be like, all 2 of them. We got you.
Yeah, we got a lot more enemies than 2.
All right.
Trust me.
Well,
We're pretty hated.
you've been busy.
I've been busy.
Whatever.
God, I hate people. Give me your thoughts on. Give me your thoughts on Sims, Ellsworth, and Gilbert.
Great stuff. By the way, I have noticed some folks writing in that they're looking forward to hearing from Eric Sims.
Yes, shockingly enough.
What do you mean, shockingly enough? I think it makes perfect sense. Guy's been around for a very long time, has worked with kabillion wrestlers up in he owns this coast as far as I'm concerned, as far as other promoters and stuff like that. I mean, we have come across a couple of nice guys, but Eric is, to me, oh boy, am I putting him over? What have I said to him before? Oh, you're like Vince. He's like, don't call me Vince.
Well, let me ask
he's done
you
a great
let me ask you a
job.
question. Do you think he'll be willing to answer every question Monte The Pharaoh going to throw at him?
No.
I got a lot of stuff I'm throwing at him.
What are you going to do to him?
No, I'm going to ask questions
man.
that we want to hear.
Okay.
This isn't going to be a fluff
Okay.
piece, right?
I don't think he's a shy one. I think he'll say plenty, but I could see you getting him on one where he's going to be like, what?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll give him an advance notice.
Okay.
I mean, when we first met Eric Sims,
Okay.
Jimmy and him had not an altercation.
No, we didn't.
No, I don't want to say an altercation.
Hey.
But you had an issue. And then he said
Oh,
then
you
he
better not
told,
be setting
then
me
he,
up.
Then he
boy,
told you he
I'm
knew
telling
Israeli
you.
karate. Isn't that right?
Well, he's Israeli, isn't he?
But I mean, that's what he told you, right?
Yeah,
He
I'm
said,
not
be
going-
careful of me. I use Israeli
I'm
karate.
not dealing with that stuff. No,
No,
thank
I'm
you.
going to ask him. I'm going to straight out ask him where he
What?
learned Israeli karate from.
He probably had to, dealing with all the wrestlers over the years. Wait a minute, didn't he almost go at it with Luna?
Yes, he did.
Oy, dear God.
He did. I was
Oy,
going to
that's
put
not very stable.
video on YouTube, but I can't. Anyway. Toxic Taste, my friend.
Oh, boy.
WWE star Montez Ford collapses during a match on Monday Night Raw with fears he was poisoned as part of a storyline.
Right.
I thought this wasn't a bad storyline either. I'm going to even go with this one.
You liked Bianca beating on my babe, Zelina Vega?
I loved it.
I hated it. She hurt Zelina Vega. Like, what are you freaking hitting her for?
Bianca Belair's cool, dude.
No, she's not. Zelina Vega's cool.
They're both cool.
I'm not
Anyway,
gonna-
back to the Montez Ford thing.
Right.
What did you think of the angle?
Different. They are trying some stuff. It was different.
Did you have a problem with him fainting outside the ring and then letting him wrestle after he fainted?
Am I going to give that moment an Oscar? No. But
let me ask you this question, Tim.
I don't think it's an Oscar.
I'm sorry.
moment.
All right. I understand people do podcasts on
Oh,
wrestling
here we go
and
again.
sports
What?
and everything else.
Yeah.
Why does everybody sit there and critique the writing? Like, it's like, that's unrealistic. He fainted on the outside. Why did they let him wrestle on the inside? It's probably a valid point, but again, who knows?
You know, if they all knew Israeli jiu-jitsu, they would probably have a little more composure with that keyboard. Just saying. You know, I mean, you got to be like a, Swami trained, very focused and centered. You got to lay those fingers away from the keyboard. Draw your hands back. Draw your hands back before you make an ass out of you and me. There we go. I can't anymore.
AEW Brandy Rhodes launches a new initiative to make women's wrestling more welcoming to women. I'm going to read this to you, buddy.
You know where I'm going already, but go on. So what did the Ultimate Free Pass have to say?
All elite wrestling. The ultimate.
Always complaining.
The ultimate free pass. I love it.
Well, what?
Is that her nickname?
Yeah, to me it is.
The free
ultimate free pass, man. Oh, yeah. How's your mic skills doing, Brandy? You getting better?
In this corner, weighing 120 pounds, the ultimate free pass, Brandy Rhodes. All Elite Wrestling is providing a new platform for its female fans. Wrestling has been long been a male-dominated industry, from the performers to the crowds in attendance at events. But AEW is making strides in creating a welcoming atmosphere for women's, a fan base that has not had its voice heard nearly enough in wrestling's past or present. This is Brandy, quote, I still don't feel comfortable in wrestling, and I'm the chief brand officer of this major organization, said AEW CBO. First of all, I never heard of a CBO before. This is the first time I've heard of
Chief
that.
Brand Officer, CBO.
Yeah, I don't think there was...
Wait a minute, isn't that
the
stuff that medicinally, eases joint pain, CBOs?
Fans out there, is there such thing
that's
as
CBD.
a CBO? There's a COO, CFO...
Right.
CEO.
Right. Well, the ultimate the ultimate free pass had a title created. Go on. What's the problem? It's so
Wrestling
obvious.
has a really long way to go with women.
Boy, Cody Rhodes going to hate my ass.
Wrestling.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Led by Rhodes, the company has officially launched AEW Heels. Heels like in heels.
High heels?
Yeah, high heels.
A
female-focused wrestling group open to anyone who identifies as a female.
Anyone who identifies as a female. Wow, this is really, really open. Go on.
The goal is to create a community where people can share ideas about wrestling, as well as focus on topics like succeeding in the workplace and empowerment.
Oh, wow, this is like so socially succeeding.
So, your thoughts on Brandy's wonderful idea?
Well, I'm kind of...
The CBO.
The CBO, I'm kind of stuck on this. Where is this thing? Wrestling has long been a male-dominated industry. Oh, let me stop right there. Let me really spell this out for you, CBO. Wrestling has been a male-dominated thing since going back to the Greeks and the Romans! 2,000 years ago in the freaking Colosseum, two hulks got together and threw each other all over the place while 50,000 people drooled for more violence. You are a free pass. Get out! Out! Get out.
All right, so I'm looking up CBO.
Nothing?
I'm looking up CBO.
Really?
It's bothering me.
I'm sickened by this.
Common business object.
Aye.
Center business optimization.
What?
Constructive business owner. Not once do I see a chief brand officer. So I'm going to look up chief brand officer because I just don't believe this is a real title. I don't mean to go on a tangent, but...
CBO completely baffling our show? I mean,
you know what? There is
such
such thing as a chief brand officer, so
nice.
I apologize.
Oh, well, okay.
Oh, well. Wrong again. That's no surprise.
Look. Okay, fine. She wants to make it a more welcoming atmosphere and all this, that, and the other thing. That's great. But I just can't stand some of the language here. Oh, male-dominated. It's pro wrestling. Of course it's been male-dominated. You guys let me know when you want to all charge over the hill for the next World War. Let me know.
All right.
Come on.
On a serious note, though, she's trying to make an avenue for the AEW fans or fans of women's
How about
wrestling.
making the women's division better?
Wow.
How about trying that?
If you were making a brand.
Yeah, because the women's division sucks over there.
Wow,
How about
perfect.
trying that? Oh, my God.
You're always on the money, man.
And I'm not against anything with the women. I freaking love Sasha Banks versus Bailey. I love Alexa Bliss. I love Charlotte Flair. But when you start with this kind of, that's true. I don't really love
a different organization.
I don't love everybody over there.
Listen, she's no Stephanie McMahon.
No, don't you dare even put the two in the same sentence.
Exactly. So there lies your point.
Dare. Oh, my God.
Reba Hardy reacts to Sammy Guevara splitting Matt Hardy wide open on AEW Dynamite. Matt Hardy came out to cut a promo on AEW last night. He ended up the segment as a bloody mess thanks to Sammy Guevara. And Reba Hardy, who has a big fat mouth anyway, was not happy about it. So, your thoughts? Because she's just another big mouth.
What did she say here?
She called him a fucking dumbass.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Reba, but you know what?
Is it
if Matt wants to draw color,
Rebby or
whatever?
If
your husband Matt, if your husband Matt wants to draw color in front of no fans because he's that desperate, and he doesn't even know how to blade himself properly. I'm not saying I know how to blade myself, but he's the professional.
Wait a minute. It says here it's unclear who she's calling a fucking dumbass in this situation. That's hilarious. Hey, hit him too harder. Ray, what are you cutting yourself for, you moron?
You know what?
It's very interesting.
Another great point, baby. You know what? So
this is
CM Punk that we
hilarious.
thought was pro, but it ends up he's probably being facetious.
Right.
And we think that she's making fun of mad at Sammy Guevara, but guess what? She's probably calling her husband a dumbass.
Yeah, what are you doing at this point? You know how old you are. What are you doing? You know? It's like...
are you trying to tell me that Matt Lanny Paffo'd it?
Oh, wow. It's hard to Lanny Poffo it. Don't you really got to go
Explain to the fan what a Lanny Poffo is.
Well, Lanny was supposed to blade himself, but apparently he almost emptied every last bit of fluid in his body. So the cut was a little too...
So back in the day, Saturday Night's main event, before Hogan wrestled Andre, the WWE asked Lanny to... And again, we're not being smarkies here.
What?
Lanny's been in studio numerous times,
Yes.
and he told us a story once.
Yes.
So he was asked by NBC and Vince McMahon to please blade himself because they really wanted to put Andre over before WrestleMania.
Remember Dick Ebersol's Glee?
Yes.
You're gonna bleed for us.
You're gonna
Good,
bleed
right?
for us, right?
Oh, my God.
So Lanny, who did not make a habit of blading himself or drawing color, these are terms that are used in the wrestling world. We are not being smarkies. We actually learned that from Coco Beware. He gave me a book of definitions.
Right.
So
then he cut a promo.
So anyway, Lanny cut himself a little too deep and almost bled himself.
Yeah, he messed himself
right?
up. Yeah.
So we call Matt Hardy Lanny Poffo.
Wow, that's rough.
During a recent interview on WWE.com, Hulk Hogan commented on Randy Savage getting upset with him backstage for grabbing Elizabeth's wrist too hard and more. So what do you think?
Really now? Well,
we know that story too, right?
I mean, how surprised can you be? Randy was very protective of her, so I mean, what did she even say anything? Like, ow, my wrist's hurt, and Randy just like, that looks like that hurts, like completely flipped? I don't know what the story is.
I don't think it was the wrist, man. I think he actually grabbed her ass. And not like that way. I think he was trying to hold her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, is that any surprise to you? I mean, this is like old retread story, right?
Right.
It's clear Randy had problems with people getting around Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know what? In hindsight, he did everything he could to protect her, and apparently it wasn't enough because she was she had some demons.
Well, you're a big wrestling fan. You're a big Hogan fan. You're a big Savage fan. Do you think it's disrespectful that Hogan keeps talking about this stuff?
Hogan probably keeps getting asked about this stuff. So we'll answer the question. No, I don't have a problem with it. I'm sure he's been asked. He probably gets asked it every other day when he's doing
better than a good Savage question.
Yeah, Randy Savage
a lot
is.
of them, right?
Oh, Randy Savage is one of the most polarizing, probably top 5 polarizing wrestlers in the history of this business.
All right, well, the big heavyweight Adam Cole and the place kicker Pat McKee both took it to Twitter today.
Pat McAfee.
Whatever the fuck his name is.
Whatever the fuck his name is. It's good.
Resolved their issues prior to NXT. The story here is that Cole and McAfee met backstage at a TV taping and hashed out their issues. As many of you know by now, Cole recently appeared on McAfee's show and got angry. He wound out shoving a producer and got in the face of McAfee and storming out. Again,
nice.
I'm going to weigh in on this one.
That sounds scripted. Go on.
It's not just scripted. It's like, I'm sorry. The 120-pound Adam Cole got mad. Whoop-de-doo.
You really...
The producer probably squatted on him. I mean, come on already.
Boy, oh boy. When Vince finally does give us the call to go work there, you better not treat Adam Cole this way. You know, I could see you shooting live on the air. Whoop-de-doo.
Of course.
You know? That I
Dude,
look
that
at you
guy
like,
does not impress me.
why? I
all.
don't
Not
understand
in the
this.
least.
Is he not physical enough in the ring for you? He's a brute.
All right, let me. You
For a
watched,
small guy,
growing
he's
up, you watched
very
boxing.
physical in
you
the
watched
ring.
boxing growing up, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch featherweight boxing?
You got to give me a famous fighter, and maybe I think though. Okay,
I'm asking you.
You
a
know
question.
what though? Okay, here the lowest I went on weight divisions was when Sugar Ray was a welterweight. Sugar Ray Leonard. I loved Sugar Ray Leonard. Absolutely.
So you love the
loved.
athlete.
Yeah.
But why didn't you want to go lower? Like weight-wise?
No one ever came up engaging enough, and boxing never pushed the lighter guys. It seems like the welterweight was the lowest they would go.
How
to
about
find...
you give like the real Pharaoh answer and say,
"What do you mean?
I can't watch little guys fighting."
Sugar Ray Leonard was not a big man. Welterweights are not huge guys. So you would call... Listen, Sugar Ray Leonard's smaller than CM Punk.
Yeah.
So you what are we saying?
Sugar Ray Leonard
here?
didn't portray himself as a heavyweight.
No.
That's the difference.
Sugar Ray Leonard made a mess out of Marvin Hagler's mind.
That's the difference, though. You had two.
Boy, was that
You
awesome.
had two different
Right.
welterweights fighting
that's
each
true.
other,
That's
or
true.
middleweights.
That's
right?
true. Okay.
Middleweights.
Okay.
You don't have a middleweight representing himself as.
So
a
when Roddy Piper
heavyweight.
would step in the ring with Andre, you took that seriously, didn't you?
Again,
Well, I'm not saying Adam Cole is Roddy Piper, but what I am saying is Adam Cole plays big enough that when he's in a ring with a guy even 30, 40, 50 pounds heavier than him, yep, it's going to come across as convincing to this guy.
Okay, fair enough.
It is.
I'm not,
It is. Jericho back in the day was smaller. Comparatively, like the way Adam Cole is today, Jericho was that size compared to a Triple H. Did he play big enough? Yes, he did. Do I think Adam Cole has big factor in his persona? Yes, I do. He's the most legendary Ring of Honor champion. He had the longest reign in NXT. There must be something good about this, as you call him, 120-pounder. I see him as a guy who threatens to be 200 pounds and fights like he's 260.
Couple of years back.
That's how I see him.
Couple of years back, Ricochet.
Yeah.
Right?
Tremendous wrestler in the ring.
Wrestled Brock Lesnar. Remember that match?
Oh, what a beating.
Right?
Yeah, but that made sense.
The beating made sense.
Yeah, it did.
Why?
It did. Because Lesnar is just so much more convincing than
And
Ricochet could
bigger
ever
and
be.
stronger and
Would
blah,
I
blah,
expect
blah, blah.
Adam Cole to have a little bit better of a fight in the ring against Lesnar than Ricochet? Yes, I would. I would. How much of one? Not much. Notice I'm not going, yeah, he's got him in the corner.
So let's go back
You
a little
know?
bit. You talk about Piper fighting Andre, right? I love
Yeah.
those matches.
Oh,
by
they're
the way.
great. Savage
But Piper,
fighting Andre.
But Piper didn't overpower Andre those
No,
matches.
he played
would stick
dirty.
his fingers in his eyes.
Played dirty.
He'd kick him in the balls.
That's what Adam Cole
right?
would do. He's a dirty player, man. He's a great bad guy. I'm waiting for you to figure out how great he is on the mic as a
I
leader.
guess I better start listening.
Oh, you don't like the Undisputed Era, man? What a great little club that is, man.
There's your answer. Great little club.
Well, that's because they're in NXT.
And they're little.
Shinsuke Nakamura pinned John Cena and knocked his effing head off his skull. That's all I got to
Nakamura's
say.
a big dude, though. He's not a small guy.
No, I'm just saying I figured I'd throw in something good for me.
Oh.
Shinsuke Nakamura rules.
Just going to run it.
Yeah, because she always... Oh, by the way, who's the tag team champions now? That will be me.
I got to tell you, you got so many great comments this show.
Thank you.
But guess who's not going to watch it?
Nobody on YouTube.
There you go.
Fuck off.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Monte The Pharaoh could be seen on YouTube, the Monte The Pharaoh page, but
We
just
can?
not this week
Just
because
not
we're
this
banned
week.
for a week.
Yeah,
Facebook
great.
Live on the Monte The Pharaoh page, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Channel 115 every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9 p.m.
Right.
For the early risers, Saturday 6:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we're also
Airing live at the former site of the Comac Multiplex.
We're also proud to
Nope.
announce that the Monte and the Pharaoh YouTube page and Indie Music will be bringing back a once-a-month segment called The Pharaoh's Corner. Jimmy, any
Really?
words
now?
on that?
Are we
before
doing
cut
this
out?
once a month? Oh, okay. I didn't realize we had worked out a time frame.
I thought we had discussed
Yeah, we
that.
kind of said we would do it once in a while. Okay, once a month, that's fine. Yeah, like when the pay-per-views...
But anyway, do you want to tell people
Well,
what
wait a minute,
Pharaoh's
hold on.
Corner's
Yeah,
about?
well, it's going to be like when the pay-per-views come around and stuff. No, I'm curious. Well, Pharaoh's Corner is basically throwing me out in the middle of the woods, and there's a lot of things that happen when I'm out in Pharaoh's Corner, whether it's talking about wrestling. You never know who's going to make an appearance. Sometimes that Soprano fellow shows up, or, I think even Vince McMahon wound up on the Enterprise, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Vince McMahon wound up on the Enterprise one week.
Yep.
You never know what the hell's going to happen in Pharaoh's Corner. That's what's lurking around the corner. Should be
Are
interesting.
you excited to bring back Pharaoh's Corner? I know Monte and the Pharaoh are very excited.
Yeah, I'm trying to already formulate how we're going to go about attacking the beast. It's very enjoyable. Did it in the past. And it's going to be very cool. It's going to be different, though. You know that. It's not going to be exactly the same as the way it was back in the day. What was that? The 5 minutes with the Pharaoh. So it'll be new and improved, but it'll have some of the old qualities that made that thing so charming.
And it was wonderful.
Like
and
Lanny
well done.
Poffo having pizza on 5 minutes with the Pharaoh. That was pretty hilarious.
That was fantastic.
You know?
But you had bigger stuff like that than
Well,
that, though.
oh, yeah, sure. No, that's going to be cool, man. Very cool.
All right, anyway, this has been Monte The Pharaoh. I want to thank Indie Music TV, as always, for bringing us on and having us on every Thursday. And once again, we want to remind fans that this Saturday from 2 to about 8 o'clock at night, we have one interview with Gilbert, one interview with Ellsworth, one interview with, well, actually, Gilbert and Ellsworth together, sorry,
Right.
and Eric Sims, uncut and raw, which is going to be exciting.
Hopefully he shows you his Israeli jiu-jitsu. I'm not interested.
And then we will have a live auction where
right.
Gilbert and Ellsworth will be signing for people in this COVID era. We got some really great pictures. We also have a lot of great memorabilia that you'd be interested in buying. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us. This is Mike Monty.
This is the Pharaoh. Until Saturday, later.